I'm going to give you a couple of cool tools. Hands up everyone who's heard of Followerwonk. Everyone from Firebrand, anyone else? Okay. Stupid name, isn't it? Followerwonk. Don't worry about that. This is a freely available tool. And I will show you right now in real time how you can get candidates that other people can't get. Followerwonk, I should say, will allow us today to source talent that other people haven't got, and I'll show you. It'll allow us to stalk. I can help you learn how to stalk what your competitors are doing and get access to their contacts. Would you like to do that? I'll show you today how you can do that for free and legally, which is important. And I'll show you how to analyze how your this is for Twitter, okay? Followerwonk works with Twitter. You can actually use Followerwonk even if you're not on Twitter. You can use it this afternoon to find candidates. So, the thing about Followerwonk that's so cool is it's quick, it's simple, it's free. There is a paid version, but you can use a lot of the tools for free. It allows you to search Twitter bios. Now, if you understand Twitter, you've got your photograph, you've got your bio, which is 140, 160 characters, and people to say what they do there. They don't always say what they do. Sometimes they say something silly like I support Spurs and like booty cats, but often they will say that they are an accountant or a recruitment consultant, whatever they are. So you can use Followerwonk to filter by location and get a pool of candidates. Let me show you. This is a screenshot of Followerwonk, and I'm going to use the example of a UX designer, because a UX designer is a category of candidates very hard to find. If you're in digital marketing, you would know that. And a lot of people are desperate for such candidates, and where they're going to find them from. Job boards certainly don't work. So first of all, what you'd do is you'd go to the Search Bio tab, and you'd click on that. You'd then enter the term UX designer, and you might just click this tab which says Search Twitter bios only. The other option is to search the tweets as well, which might be something you do, but I'm just going to search Twitter bios. And I'm going to search in Sydney. And when I did that, have a look at that. 126 UX designers came up. 126. Now, I don't know whether those candidates are on my database or not, but I bet there's a few juicy little diamonds in the rough there, a few pearls that I've found because I'm a skills hunter. Now, your decision now at this point, when you've got 126 candidates that you otherwise didn't have, let's say half of them you did have, the other half you'd never heard of. Go to them, and then you've got a decision. You could go hard, which is search them on LinkedIn, find their company, get their phone number, and phone source them. Or you could go soft, which is simply to follow them on Twitter, maybe engage with them on LinkedIn, maybe subscribe them to your blog. There's a range of things you could do to pull them into your community. It depends on what you're trying to achieve. If you're trying to fill today's job, you'll headhunt them. If you're trying to build relationships and a pool and reservoir of candidates for the future, you would do this. And what I'm saying to you is, if I was running a recruitment company, I'd teach my recruiters to do this and require them to do it just 10, 15 minutes a day to continue to build their pool of candidates that are freely available on public databases. But I asked you, 300 recruiters in Sydney, to put your hands up if you heard of Followerwonk, and 3 people had. So if you start doing this, you are definitely giving yourself an advantage over all the other guys. You could enter lawyer, legal secretary. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying every candidate's there. I'm not saying you should spend all your eggs in this basket. Clearly not. You've got lots of other strategies. But you're a skills hunter, and this should be something in your armory, in your toolkit, that you're going to be able to pull out to find people for today, but also build relationships for tomorrow. So if you're on Twitter, the very least you would do is to go to those 126 people and follow them. At very least. That'll take you 3 minutes, and you're now connected to 126 people you didn't know otherwise. And about a third of them will follow you back, and you'll start to build a relationship. So then let's say you go home and you say, I went to this Greg Savage thing, and he says we've got to hire recruiters who are digital savvy. How am I going to find them? Well, what you could do is go to Followerwonk, and that's what I would do as a start. And I would search bios, but I would enter recruiter. And I would enter Sydney, and I did that a couple of weeks ago for the purposes of this exercise, and I got 1,302 results. Now, every single one of you is saying you can't find recruiters, and you're going to Rex who can't find recruiters. But 3 people in this room had even heard of Followerwonk. We've got to get more innovative and with the program, guys. And Followerwonk's just one tool. Twitter can be searched in its own right. And there's other search tools. But let's say I said I wanted a digitally savvy recruiter. There's 1,302 people here. But what you may not know, or you won't know until I tell you, is that Followerwonk allows you to search people by their social authority. Social authority means their influence on digital, the amount of times they get retweeted, the amount of followers they've got, how impactful they are. So if I was going to recruit a recruiter for the modern era and I wanted someone who was very in touch with social, why wouldn't I go to Followerwonk, search for 1,302 people and search by the tab that says social influence? Admittedly, the number one person to come up would in fact be Greg Savage. And the number two organization to come up would be Firebrand, which after all just proves that I'm not making this up. But there'd be 1,301 other people that I'd be able to approach. You've got to be a skills hunter. You've got to be a searcher of social.